Hi everybody, this is Justina with JustynaThandMade. In today's video, I'm gonna show you how to create this forget-me-not keychain wallet. This is a really nice and quick project. As you can see, it doesn't require much materials. You can actually create two of those little wallets with the one sheet of the printable vinyl panels that you can get out of Amazon. And this little wallet features two credit card packets. You can insert more than just one credit card in each packet. It also has a nice zipper packet with the extension panel. So this way, even when your wallet is packed with the credit cards that makes it stiff, you can still access your items in your zipper packet. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to create this version with the number 3 zipper on top and the keychain ring attached directly to the zipper pull. Alternatively, you can add a grommet to then attach the keychain ring through the grommet. Also, this version is created with zipper number 5, which works equally good. And because zipper number 5 has a bigger hole, you can then attach it to a wristlet strap or any other fastener you want the little wallet to be attached to. This pattern is available in my Etsy store. The link to the listing is in the description below. If you want to grab the pattern at a discount, please make sure to join my Facebook group. It will be available at a discount for a week from the premiere of this video. If you are a returning viewer to my channel, thank you so much for your support. If this is your first time coming across my video, and please make sure to subscribe to my channel, and if you do enjoy this tutorial, please make sure to give it a like. And now, if you want to see how quick this little pattern comes together, please keep watching. To get us started, we're gonna prep all our pattern pieces and our supplies. So first, you're gonna cut your panel A, and you also want to make sure you make all those little slits. You're gonna have two little cuts of panel B. You're gonna have a piece of zipper. I'm using a zipper number 3. You can use zipper number 5 if that's what you have on hand. The measurement will be provided in the pattern. And I have my zipper pull. I have my little key ring. I have my two aligning panels cut to size. My thread, I'm going to be using Gutenberg Mera 70 thread. And also I have my plastic snaps with my tool to install the plastic snaps. Also, to help me with the sewing process, I'm going to be using some double-sided tape. I'm going to be using this 1/8 of an inch double-sided tape. Now that we have everything ready, we can get started. So we're gonna start with prepping our little lining. So put everything else to the side. And I'm gonna square off one end of my zipper. And this is a method I like to use with a lighter to melt the edges. You can just base stitch them in place if that's something you prefer. So square off one set of ends of your zipper. Now that your zipper is squared off, you're gonna cut it to size. You want to make sure that you are leaving about 1/4 of an inch from this little corner, and that the zipper is about 1/4 of an inch longer than then your opening, and now cut to size. Make sure it looks good. Looks good to me. I'm gonna melt the edges, making sure it's not gonna fray. Now I'm gonna take one of my lining pieces, and the lining is cut out of non-fraying material. This is a nylon ripstop. That's what I recommend you use. And I'm gonna make sure that my lining is right side up, that the side edge of the lining aligns with the little corner. And I'm gonna place my zipper tape coil side up, making sure that I have a 1/4 of an inch overlap above my zipper opening cut. And when I have that ready, I'm just gonna clip the zipper only to the lining. Now I can put that aside. I'm gonna flip my unit, place my lining again. I want it to be right side up, and I'm gonna align my zipper so the lining panels align. And when I have my zipper clipped to both of my lining panels, I'm gonna take it to the machine, and I'm gonna sew along the zipper edge with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Through the project, I'm gonna be using 3.5 stitch length, so I'm gonna be sewing with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. Then I'm gonna flip my project, making sure the sewn in part is out of the way of the seam, and sew the other side of the zipper to the second lining panel with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. And now that my zipper is sewn in, you can iron the panel if your fabric is stiff, but if the zipper is lying flat, then you can just move on to the next step. Now we're gonna insert our zipper pull on. When we have the zipper pull on, we're gonna place 2 pieces of double-sided tape along the zipper edge. Remove the backing from one of the strips. Take your panel A and center the zipper inside of the opening, making sure you have 1/4 of an inch overhang on the back. Make sure the zipper coils are centered in the zipper opening. And if you have the lining sticking out on any of the sides, don't worry, we're gonna trim the final seam allowance. So this is actually good. You want to have access. So now that you have the zipper attached into your panel A, you're gonna take your project to the machine, and you're gonna top stitch from this little corner. You're gonna top stitch around the zipper opening with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. Make sure to backstitch on the beginning and on the end of your seam. Now that we have our lining attached, we're gonna prep our card slot pockets. So we're gonna prep our tabs. You're gonna flip them over and place some double-sided tape. when you have the tabs prepped like this, you're gonna take them to the machine and you're gonna top stitch along those 3 edges. You're gonna top stitch where you have the folded edge, so you're gonna top stitch around here and here on both tabs. Also, you're gonna take your unit to the machine and you're gonna top stitch below your card slot opening with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length, and you're gonna make sure that your lining is out of the way. So when you're doing it, just make sure that the lining is behind the other panel. So you're gonna do it on both of the card slots, and you're gonna top stitch your little tabs. So take it to the machine, top stitch the tabs, and top stitch underneath the card slots. Now that I have my card slot pockets top stitch on the bottom and I have my little tabs ready, I'm gonna now install the female part of the snaps on each of my little tabs. So you wanna take your cap and you want to make sure that you have about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, a little tab to grab when you're opening your little tab, and you can mark the placement using the cap part. Make a hole. Repeat the same thing on the other tab. Take the female part of the snap and install it. When you have the female part of the snap installed on your tabs, you're gonna now install the male parts of the snaps on your panel. So you wanna fold the panel, find the midpoint of your pocket and measure 3/4 of an inch from the opening. And now install the male parts of your snaps. When the snaps are installed, you're gonna take your tabs and place them inside of your little slits. Snap them in place. Make sure they're aligning nicely with the pocket. And when you have that prepped, you're gonna take your project to the machine and you're gonna top stitch 1/8 of an inch above the cut along the tab. So you're gonna be sewing the tab on with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance from the cut slit with the 3.5 stitch length, and you're gonna repeat that on both tabs. So now your both tabs are sewn in. We're gonna now move on to creating our extension for our pocket. At this point, you want to make sure that your lining will lie nice and flat behind your outer panels. You can use some double-sided tape to keep it in place, and that's what I'm gonna do. Now that I have the lining nice and flat behind my panels, I'm gonna work on my extension. So I wanna fold the little triangles inside of my pocket, folding on those two corners. Here you want to make sure that after you folded your little extensions that they gonna align on the top. If they need to be adjusted a little bit, just go ahead and do that. Now they are looking nice and straight. So when I have that folded, now I'm gonna take my project to the machine and I'm gonna top stitch along this edge with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length, but I'm gonna start my seam from above 1/4 of an inch away of the bottom, or this, at this point this is a side edge. So I'm gonna start my seam 1/4 of an inch away from this edge and sew up to the top, and then sew from the top up to the 1/4 of an inch from this side edge. Make sure to backstitch well on the beginning and on the end of each seam. Now that we have our little extension flaps top stitch, we're gonna fold the project right sides together, bring the outside edges of the extensions together and clip. And take it back to the machine and top stitch along this edge with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. Make sure to backstitch well on the beginning and on the end of the seam. Now we have our little extension completed. We're gonna flip the project right side out. Now our extension is folding nicely inside and we have a nice large opening for our zipper pocket. So now last thing to do is to just finish up our outside seam. You want to make sure you are folding the project, that everything, especially here, everything aligns and you have the zipper nicely on the top of your project. And when you have your project clipped, you're gonna take it to the machine and you're gonna top stitch along those two edges with a 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. If you feel your panels, the vinyl panels are not aligning, just increase the seam allowance a little bit. If your panels align perfectly, you can just keep it at 1/8 of an inch, but I suggest to just increase it a little bit, so then you can trim the seam allowances to get a really nice straight seam allowance look. And also I suggest that you start sewing from this point. You want to make sure that those two edges won't shift while you sew. So start from the edge where you have your little extension and continue on the bottom seam and up with the side seam. Now the bottom and the side seam is completed. I'm gonna now trim my seam allowances. So I'm gonna place my project on the cutting mat. I'm gonna trim the seam allowance to about 1/8 of an inch. And now you have a nice crisp edges and your project is basically completed. The last thing to do is just to add our keychain ring onto the zipper pull, or you can just attach the zipper pull to your existing key ring with your keys. And now your project is completed. The project is now completed. My little forget-me-not keychain wallet is ready to use. I put my credit card inside of my credit card pocket. I have another card on the other side, and I also have space to put some coins or some cash inside of my zipper pocket. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you're gonna give the project a go. Don't forget to grab a copy of the pattern from my Etsy store. The link is in the description below. If you do create your own wallets, I would love to see them, so please make sure to post them in the Facebook group or to tag me on the Instagram. If you don't want to miss any upcoming videos, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and to hit the notification bell. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give it a like. Till the next time.